Mm.
Right now, as it is, time does move on and on and on. We have a song called "Radio Frequencies" by North V. Carlos Fandango. What's going on here?
Right. Again, we haven't really got much of a profile except that they're from he, they, she. They are from Helsinki, Finland. I don't know if it's a group artist or what have you, but we'll hopefully find out and get to the bottom of it. But they it looks like their influences include Daft Punk, Calvin Harris, Black Sabbath, Machine Head, the Chainsmokers. There's Metallica in there as well, Avicii. So sort of like a dance, rock, metal type thing going on. I can't remember what the song was like actually, but it's called Angst Athens. Sorry, so North V is actually Angst Athens is the actual artist name.
Yes, my bad.
So Radio Frequency. So it says Radio Frequencies is a retro wave track full of nostalgia, inducing synth sounds. It was written on a flight back from Italy and inspired by the meditative feeling of a long flight.
Well, there we go on that. I always look at obviously where the little profile picture is, and I see North V. It is Angst Athens though, and Radio Frequencies is the name of the song here. Available also on Spotify, iTunes, or it's not iTunes anymore, Apple Music,
Apple Music,
and YouTube. So let's check this one out. Radio Frequencies. Who would like to take the comment section away on that one?
Now, I remember I'll say Justine because I picked this one for Justine, I think, because it's got the electronic and it's also our regular sort of instrumental of the week.
Yes, and that's great because you're right. This does lean more towards what I tend to favor. I really love the retro synths, the beginning arpeggio. It aligns really well with imagining being in flight, because that's what he mentioned, is it was written on a flight. Nice instrumental layering and changes. He has a nice build to a more intense mixture of sounds. The soft part was well done. It kind of promises bigger things, especially with that that pad you hear, it starts to come in, and then when it does explode in a more epic sound, it's fulfilling because of that hint that's brings you there. It does seem to me it could be a little longer. That's me again. I like it could be one more variation in the patterns. Like after that epic crescendo, he adds another spin of creative, softer sounds. Then maybe back to that epic conclusion. I think there is in fact an extended mix of this song. I thought I saw it on a sample on iTunes, Apple Music. I think that there was a little bit of static at the beginning and at the end, but that's probably not important. I do like that he describes the song. How did it come forth? What was it related to? I mean, I always appreciate that. His other songs, by the way, are great synthwave and future pop, dance-oriented, mostly EDM, that I really liked. There's one in particular called Forget You. It's popular and particularly good, in my opinion. Someone said it's 007 movie worthy, and I agreed with that. Yeah, it sounded like the theme of a beginning 007 movie. So, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It's I like this one because it was you could hear his slight Daft Punk influence, lots of retro sounds. I mean, you've got sort of this could fit into Stranger Things very easily.
Yeah.
It sounds like a sort of John Carpenter 80s film theme type thing, very John Carpenter in fact. So it's, for me, it's like almost the end credits of an 80s film on video, just reminiscing about those sort of sounds you used to get. And I think the classic synth string sounds, that lovely deep, the thing that made it very John Carpenter was the sort of deep boom, 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 that sort of theme going on, very, very John Carpenter. And after that quiet bit, when the beat drops back in again, it's really, really sort of hits home, and it's great because that's when the arpeggiators come in as well, and it really sort of takes off and takes flight, kind of thing, like the actual the plane ride that he was on, plane flight. And loved it. Really, really like the one. I agree that I think this is like for me, in my mind, it sort of conjures up an image of this is the short version for the theme to the film, and there's a longer version on the album or something. That's kind of how I'm imagining. That's how I'd do it anyway.
I felt the same way. Yeah.
I got to tell you, here's what I was thinking at first. I was definitely thinking of a little bit of Van Helsing in there, along with Depeche Mode. If you remember Muse when they came out with that album Simulation Theory, I could definitely see that. I mean, it's great, fantastic. You know what I loved was, one thing that I would have loved, I should say, right, is this entire build up to that drop, at the 3/4 point, right? I would have loved it if some vocals had come in there.
Oh yeah.
If some vocals would have come in there, it would have like blown that music
made it
to an entirely different level. Like, I mean, if there was just that drop right there with some words in it, but I mean, certified banger all the way, 100%, most definitely. It's very groovy. I got to listen to the other stuff. As you saw, I saved the track, give it a couple of fires as we were listening. Very nice, clean production, as Carlos likes to say, slick. It has the ebb and flow without the words in it. I liked it. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan just from the one song so far. So, yeah, great choice. Great choice.
Good.
I don't really have much to say on it, but beyond that, I mean, I have no critique, because if there were vocals on it, I mean, we could definitely talk about the vocals a little bit more, but without the vocals, I really, once again, really, really, when that drop was coming in, hoping for the vocals, no vocals, but oh well. What can you?
Well, some tracks you can hear vocals on. I can't imagine what the vocals would be like on that one, because I quite like it as it is. Although I can imagine there's a lot of synth tracks that you think, yeah, that definitely needs vocal as well. That would really go well. But some of these tracks work well either way.
Just a simple kind of vocal. I mean, even if you think back to Massive Attack, right? Massive Attack really didn't. I mean, there's not much. It's mostly electronic music going on, but they do have a little bit of vocal in there, right? So a little bit of vocal element. Once again, just that entire buildup to the drop was good as is. I just personally think that if there were a vocal there, if there were something there, that it could have just made it that much better. Honestly, just in my opinion. But
and then on the other hand, from my perspective, I always think instead of vocals, my first thought is, what other instrument could go in there to complete a range of sound that would be more fulfilling?
right.
So it did feel like it needed something more there, and vocals versus some other instrument.
I personally think if it were another instrument, it would be overdone because all the instruments came crashing at once, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would have been overdone. I would have would have loved to have heard some words there, I should say. So
Okay.
that would be my only thing. But I mean, no criticism as far as that's concerned, because I do think that the track is good as is. It was just it would have been a very nice kind of like Easter egg, right? A nice little surprise if there had been something like that there. Just saying.
That's true, because it had a long build up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like going through this kind of like slight meditative phase of listening to this build up, and then it hits like this rock section. And if there were vocals on top of it, once again, I just think that it could have like really completed something just more. But again, nothing wrong with the song at all whatsoever. Just
might have been the captain. Please fasten your seatbelts.
And
prepare to land.